Welcome to this edition of Behind the Shield. I'm Chad Douglas here with Alex McIntosh, who's a caseworker in Hannibal, and we're talking a very serious topic today, homelessness. When we talk homelessness, that's kind of a very broad term. Alex, what do you mean true homelessness?
Well, a lot of the people that I work with are literally on the street. They have been couch surfing, but that they've worn out their stay. They're sleeping in cars, behind buildings. I mean, literally homeless. They have nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. How big of a problem is that here in Hannibal?
Lately, we've been getting between 1 and 3 phone calls a day.
1 and 3 a day?
Yes.
Wow.
People are starting to evict now. The shelters are capacity, and we have very limited funds to be able to help them. The goal is to get them in a hotel temporarily until we can find them somewhere stable, get them set up with employment, housing resources, food, that kind of stuff. And sometimes just having them stable enough to find them is the easiest way to do that quickly. So, and just having a place for them to lay their head every night.
And you mentioned food. I mean, we're in the food pantry down in Hannibal at the Social Services, and right now the shelves are pretty well stocked. I know that's not the case all year round, but you're able to feed them.
Yeah.
But gosh, how important is it to have a place to lay your head down every night?
Well, just not having to worry about how I'm going to eat, where am I going to keep my food if it's refrigerated, if there's nowhere to keep it, then you're back on the hunt again the next day trying to figure out what am I going to eat, how am I going to cook it, where am I going to find my next meal, and if they have kids, then the stress is even bigger. So I really think as a community that is the best solution right now, just something to try to help these people, because right now there isn't a lot of places to go. With COVID, they're limiting the amount of people that can come into shelters, so the need is a lot higher than it normally would be.
And I think a lot of people think of homelessness as a big city problem. It's not. It's right here at home.
Yeah, and in the rural areas too, you're looking at people that don't have transportation, so getting them from A to B, trying to find them a way to get to appointments, to get housing, if they're walking from these rural areas to find a place to do these housing assessments, it's just nearly impossible for them to be able to get there and do those things without help.
Now, you've done this for the Salvation Army here in Hannibal for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Can you take someone who's homeless and get them back on their feet? Is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's a team effort, obviously. If they have mental health, substance abuse issues, we work closely with a lot of different agencies here in town to kind of address the underlying issues to keep them stable. And it is kind of an ongoing process, but it's easier for us to work with other people in the community if we know where they're at, we have all hands on deck. It just makes it easier to have those support services long term that way. So it's important.
Sure. And what does it take to get help?
Just to give us a call. We either will have funds when they call or they don't, and I hate to tell people that we don't. We are limited with the amount that we can spend every month just because of the amount of requests we're getting, and we just can't meet the need at this point. So we have talked with people that have literally been sleeping outside behind buildings in their cars when it's this hot. They don't have gas for their car, they're just parked trying to survive. So
as we get into colder months, it's nice now, even in the evenings are pretty nice. Not that anybody really wants to sleep outside, but as it gets cold, the problem doesn't go away when the wintertime comes.
No.
So how can the community help?
Any financial donations we can get at this point would be wonderful. Even donations of tents when we can't help, that is a huge, just something to keep them in somewhere besides just being eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Sure.
So anything like that's helpful. Tents, food, if people want to make care packages that we can send out with them, which is like hygiene, pop top cans, just those small things help a lot. And sometimes when we don't have a place to send them, that's just something to get them by until we can figure something out.
So,
yeah.
You're still going to be here, Salvation Army. Yeah. So there's links on this post on how you can help donate. Food or money, it seems to be the big issue here. If there's one takeaway from this interview you want people watching to know, what would that be?
That we're here and we want to help people, and the best way for us to help people is from help from the community and people that donate. or even share their time to try to make a difference here with us. That could be as simple as making food bags, or just helping be on the front lines with us, or finding a way to be a part of that is really important.
That's a good point. If you can't afford a donation, you can afford some time and donate.
Yep, and people have lots of time right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Alex, thanks so much for your time today, and thanks for everything you do for the community.
Thank you.
And that's it for this edition of Behind the Shield. I'm Chad Douglas.